Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Women in Music. What a wonderful Wednesday we have for you. For those of you who are new to our page, please do share with your friends and people out there. And if you do have any questions for the panel, we are more than happy for you to, ask questions and talk to them, get some advice. I've got some amazing ladies on tonight, and a lot of them have been working in the industry for a very long time. We have 3 artists, and one of our artists has actually worked in radio promotion, so it'd be really interesting to talk to her. Jules was supposed to come on tonight. We haven't quite got her in backstage yet, but if she does join us, we'll see you there and bring you on in, Jules. No doubt she's got caught up with all her PR work that she's been doing, but we'll talk more about that later. And of course, what an awesome night, because this young lady has been getting a lot of attention. Miss Melissa Lucan, she has just released her single On the Water, so we're going to have a live performance from her tonight. So stick around, make comments, please share and follow our artists and people on the panel tonight. That's what it's all about, networking, supporting one another through this terrible time of COVID. That's where this whole show was derived from, was me just trying to support others in my industry, promote what they do, showcase and network with them, and connect people together. And boy, are we doing that with Women in Music. There's been some wonderful, wonderful connections that we're making, not only for myself, but other people that have been on the panel. So I thank you all for joining us tonight. And let me bring in the ladies. We have the beautiful Beck. There she is. Angelique. And of course, Melissa Lucan. How are you going?
Hi.
I'm so excited to be catching up with you girls. Obviously, we have worked together in the past in many different forms. But, I don't always get people on here that I know, which is even more interesting. And that's why I wanted to speak with Jules tonight, because I thought she would be a really good contact for all of you ladies. She works in PR and she's very, very connected on the Gold Coast, and a beautiful, vibrant woman. So I will still connect you anyway. I'm not sure why we don't have Jules, but hey, that's what you get when you do a live show. Bit of fun, and that's what I want to do, ladies. I want to connect you all with each other, and not just the ones in the panel, but the people that have been on the show before. And I'm finding we're getting some really lovely results, and a lot of good reactions from people overseas. And also, I think we had over 2,000 views on one of our other shows as well. So it's really lovely just to be able to chat with you. And I suppose my first question is promoting yourself as an independent artist or as an entertainer. And I know, Angelique, you've been in radio, and I just want you to, maybe kick off the answer to that, and we'll just go around in a circle and just have a chit chat about that to start.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I perform and I sing in lots of groups and duos and bands, and I sing at corporate functions, weddings, events and things. And I've done a couple of my own songs with some producers. I haven't done anything recently, but I have in the past. And, I work at Nova. And I come to them and say, I'm a singer. Do you want to play my song? And it's not as easy as that. You don't just get on the radio with your song. And even though I've worked there for 8 years in different departments, but they've popped a couple of they popped a song of mine on Coles Radio, which is also owned by Nova. And I do a lot of jingles and voiceover or singing segments for Ashkip and Lutzi and Kate Timamati and shows like that. So you might hear me singing something here and there, but yeah.
8 years. That's such a long time. That's awesome.
I know. I love it.
I bet you do. What a great job. I mean, it's promotions, but there's so much more to it, isn't it? Do you think they took you on because you're such a fabulous voiceover and singer? Because, you are really talented when it comes to that. Was that just a little piece of what they were looking for the job?
Well, I started 8 years ago, and I started on the street team. So I was going around the cars and going to events and places and giving out free tickets. Yeah. It was so much fun. And, we do live crosses, we're here at blah, blah, come on down. And it was great in my early 20s. And then I moved into sales, doing a couple of days there. I've never worked there full time because obviously I have my singing. So I worked in sales a couple of days, a few days a week. And then they kind of got to go like know me and go, oh, she's a singer. Oh, she does, let's use her voice. So then I started doing some stuff on air. I started singing at events. They got me to sing the Australian anthem at the Brisbane International. That was through Nova because they were a partner.
Oh, wow.
And then,
Fun.
Yeah, so now I'm like part of the furniture. Now I work now just because it's because I'm only working a couple of days. I work on reception, 2.5 days. And but I've literally done like every job there.
Oh, what an awesome job. What an awesome experience. I know some other entertainers that are doing, that similar sort of roles, and it's just great for you. It's just a lovely synergy, isn't it, between what you do. They're fantastic.
I studied media like way back in the day.
Did you?
I studied journalism and PR. So it was like promotions, which I already did. I did lots of promotions for other companies, like brands, music, and media, and it was all in one. And I was like, the perfect.
Oh, wow. Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
And what about you, Beck? Tell everyone a little bit about what you do.
So I have lots of arms. I have like 8 arms, and I do all the things. Primarily, to make bread and butter, I run a copywriting and voiceover business. So quite similar.
Hello.
Yeah, I got started at the one of the Gold Coast radio stations, and it was like I just offered my time, and then got my experience up, and then they said, oh, we'll start paying you. So I was like, great, let's get a bit of a reel together and like have a sample, and then I've gone from there. So that's one of the arms, and then the other thing is that I perform. So Melissa and I have been performing together, since we were we had our first job.
Do we want to tell them it's been 15, 20 years?
Yeah, it's been that long. We did a contract in Japan together, and we were performing over there, and then we came back to Australia and went our separate ways, and then joined up again, and we created this thing called the Vintage Bells, and we started to do some jazz clubs and some work at restaurants, and what else do we do, Mel? I don't know.
Well, thanks to Jodie, we did the Brisbane
we did
night markets.
Yeah,
a few of the night markets and a few things like that.
Yeah, and then the next step for that coming up, which is exciting, is we're going to do a live performance at the Ipswich Civic Centre. So that's coming up in I think it's February.
Yeah.
But I also I've just been dabbling. Well, I've also been dabbling in songwriting for the past, since I was about 18. So like writing songs and then not pursuing it, but like putting a little performance art thing together and popping one of my songs in there and just sort of not pursuing it. But I'm really having fun exploring that now and doing some work with a local Brisbane keyboardist, which is really, really fun at the moment.
Which brings me to how we actually met, because you would have thought we would have met through mutual friends and also, just the industry, everybody. But I met you up in Noosa, and I was pregnant, and we were doing like a jazz cabaret kind of competition, wasn't it? I can't remember what it was called, but we met there, and I just thought you were freaking amazing. I was like, I got to connect with this chick, and then I realized you knew everyone that I know down here on the coast. So, there you go. And the thing is, how do you promote yourself as an independent artist? And if it's not as relatable to your music at the moment, like just in general, promoting yourself and your art form and what you're doing?
Yeah, well, I use a lot of social media because that's where it's at, really. So, 4 years back, I did a marketing course. So I did a marketing course and sort of got in with a bit of a membership mastermind, all to do with digital marketing. And then a lot of the tools and techniques that they were saying for your writing business, I was using for our music projects or for cabarets that were coming up or whatnot. So I use a lot of social media. I've just started to play a lot more with video. So like live stuff like this. And that's, I find it's really where the engagement happens with people. Like you really get that intimacy and then you can just, share about what you're doing. I feel like that's the most genuine and authentic way that I'm promoting myself at the moment.
You're almost, I mean, it's a business, isn't it? Like, and you know that because your podcast business, I mean, as an independent artist, you are a business, and you got to start having that attitude about it. And I think anyone that's listening tonight, if you do have a question about how to promote yourself as an independent artist, or what we're doing that's different, you know, please post up any questions that you may have, because I wanted this platform to be, you know, of support to anyone that's listening in. We have a lot of my students and up and coming artists that, you know, I'm sure they just don't even know where to start, and it's a bloody minefield, and we all need to help each other. And there's so many new things coming out today. Like a girlfriend of mine said to me, you need to have your own app for that event that you're working on. Because I'm working on a big event.
Too many things. No.
You know, I wouldn't even thought of that. And she's like, you've got to, I know this person who's been on your panel who knows how to do that and this and that. And it's all just about connection and who you know. And I've been meeting so many interesting people lately. I've got some great stories to tell you girls. But, I just want to get to down to Mel, and I mean, you're right in the thick of it at the moment. You've just released your singles, so bloody exciting. You've got some wonderful album reviews that have been coming out. Just tell everyone about, like, in general, what you do and who you are, and then just let's talk about the single.
Yeah, thank you. So I come from a similar background as Beck, as we talked about, so more theatre and cabaret and production shows, and we've done lots of things together. But in the recent, maybe the last year, and to be honest, before that, many, many, many years ago, I released an EP of my own, but it's funny, it didn't have the channels then. So we didn't have Spotify and we didn't have social media at that time. So I didn't really release it, I would say. I made it, and it was a great product that did get onto a little bit of radio through people I knew. And basically I've just taken from that and I've come back to it. It was something that was always there that I knew I had to do more of. You know, I've had kids, and it's time now. They're older. So I've had time to spend on it. And this time around, the song, I think it primarily, like, the work has to be good for radio. And you probably know this too, I suppose, you guys. It has to be a good song to be able to be put on the radio. But this time around, I did hire someone to help out with that. I'm not very good at all, in honesty, at PR. Actually, it's probably my worst thing. I'm not great at selling myself and getting on social media and everything. And they've been great. I had them for 4 weeks. That was it. And then I've just kind of gone off the back of that now. Like, I've got a bit of confidence with it. There's been some great feedback, and now I'm just doing it on my own, pretty much.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So what they set up for you has kind of given you a little bit of, okay, I think I can handle this on my own now. And oh, that's great. And Definitely. Are you able to let us in on who your secret weapon was?
Yeah,
Anyone
sure. I wanted to. So with moving forward with my music, I am very much trying to get into that country pocket. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's particular publicists and PR people who work in that genre specifically. I desperately wanted to work with Karen from Little Sparrow PR. She wasn't free. So I actually got in touch with Australian Radio Promotion, and they did that for me for 4 weeks. That's when I got onto, like you, I got onto one of the Nova channels, the Coles Radio, which is fun. I haven't heard it in Coles. I've had lots of text and email. And then some other great networks like Flow FM network, they were great for that. They got lots of press articles. And Ozmade, so Grant Broadcasters is like an Ozmade show where they interviewed me, where the night before they had Daryl Braithwaite and people. So really cool. Yeah.
That's very nice. Yeah. So I would love for you to post those links up after the show on the comments. If you can see that on the right there, ladies, you're more than welcome to add in anything as we're going tonight and answer any questions that pop up too that I might not get to. But, yeah, just to help other people to know where to start. You know, there's so many. We all try different avenues, and, of course, you go through people that you know as well. But even I'm learning tonight just listening to you. So it's really nice if we can help others and just know where to look. And that's what Women in Music's been all about, is trying to connect people and, you know, give some advice and some support through this terrible time that we're all going through. And you know what, it's funny, the ones that have really reached out the most are those people down in Melbourne. I've had some awesome people on the panel from Melbourne, and you know, just recently I had someone pull out because she just said, you know, I'm in lockdown and it's really hitting us hard. So you know, really massive change. I just want to go back to what you were talking about, Mel, in relation, and this relates to us all on the panel, like genres of music. And breaking into different genres of music. So Mel, why did you go down the country road? Because I know, like, you can sing across anything. Is that more your love? And do you find that it's easier to break into country than what it would be a mainstream pop or, say, blues or any other genre?
Country's my first love. I probably didn't know that until I got back into it recently. But the EP I released a long time ago is all very country flavored. And all the artists I used to listen to, Faith Hill, you know, like there's particular just country artists that I've always listened to. Chicks, Leanne Rhymes, it goes on and on and on. The Australian country industry is smaller, obviously, than America. But yeah, I just feel like it's an easier. It's wonderful that I love it as well, and it's probably my best. I sing it best, to be honest. I think country styles is my best genre. I think with my age as well, you know, I'm not 19, so to try to break into the pop arena wouldn't be taken as well in those commercial aspects, right? So I think country music, it works across the board for me in many different ways.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people approach me and say, you know, why don't you get into country? It's a lot easier to break into it. You're fantastic at that. You could do that, you know. And mostly I reckon it's because of my name, Jodie-Joy. It's like
just like piggybacking off that, Mel, like it's I reckon the country's all about, you know, heart and storytelling, and it's like that, you know, all of those nuances about like lost love and everything. And because you're such a soulful, like, beautiful hearted person, it's like you can tell the story through your voice and through the music that you're making.
Thank you,
darling. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So,
and I know for you, Angelique, you kind of moved. Well, look, you explain it. What's your genre, and what are you passionate about? And did you particularly pick that genre because you thought it would be easier to break into, or that's just was your love, or what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, mine's not country. I'm probably quite opposite to country. It's more like pop R&B. I guess that's probably my favorite genre, and what I think I sing well. But I mean, in all the gigs that I do everything from, you know, pop, rock, Motown, R&B, hip hop, like even throw in a country song here and there for, like, you know, the gigs that we do, and to cater to the different crowds and the different people and the different ages. But if I was to say my favorite genre, it would be that pop R&B, maybe with a dance as well. Like I do some kind of EDM music for some gigs. So it's a range, and I can adapt my voice, but I think it more suits the pop R&B.
And what I love about you when you perform is that you don't just sing a cover song, you make that cover song yours.
Yeah, I try and change it up a bit, so it's not just
so you don't imitate the voice. And I mean, a lot of agents and places like that say, we really want you to sing it like similar to the artist, you know, don't change it too much. But you seem to find that really fine balance, that even balance in that. So
I like to put like different songs together to like. Otherwise, it's just that song, you know.
Mash up.
But mashups.
Yeah. And what about you? Beck. With genres of music, I mean, what's your favorite? What do you think breaks in easier, or what's your opinion on that?
So, for me, my favorite is jazz, and I just love all the sort of minor melodies and how it just falls off a note and you can play with all different, like, I just like that sort of playfulness about jazz. But I love also like soul and funk and blues. So I'm just like I'm experimenting. Like I like experimental stuff, so I'm experimenting at the moment with like chain gang kind of vibes, and like there's some, you know, just different vibes that are really quite deep. I think I like deep stuff. Like stuff that grabs at your guts and then like makes you feel something. And in terms of breaking into, I've got no idea about breaking into any of that sort of market when it comes to like becoming a jazz crossover recording artist, or I'm just at the moment experimenting with making the music. And I guess the one intention that I have for the one song that I've got at the moment, which is called Roll with the Punches, is I want to, it's upbeat. It's got like hand claps sort of thing. I want to see how it goes with being like on an ad, like a car ad or something like that. So I'm intending to record that to then pitch to advertising agencies to see if it's going to be, you know, beneficial on an up.
Yeah, great.
Cool.
I can see you being really successful in that realm because you know you really have like a marketing business head on you. So trying to, you know, sell it across will probably work really well for you. I don't know if you girls have heard of it either. Songwriter, have you ever looked into that?
Yeah.
That company's run by Paul Wilshire, and you know, he has an excellent reputation in the industry and a really nice guy too. So that's something for anyone out there that you're listening. If you want some tips and tricks on, you know, how to get your music out there and promote it, or anything else. I think we did previously have a question up here from Dario, I believe. Dario says, I am looking to start up an independent record company in the next few months and would love to network with self-promoting artists to see how they succeed in this business, which is mainly focused on the big four major labels. Who would like to take that question?
I can say something about it. It is usually, and Angelique, you probably know this a lot too, being at Nova, very difficult to get on the radio as an independent artist. Very hard, or they say almost impossible. Actually, this is on the mainstream stations. I think maybe as an independent artist starting out, where I have got a massive radio play is regional community radio. So maybe community radio is where you start, I think. And then it's not difficult to get interviews on community radio at all. That's where you can build up your skills on how to do it. I'm still doing that. And then maybe that's how you then may get noticed by a label perhaps down the track. But I think these days labels are not interested in talking to you unless you have created quite a thriving business already on your own.
Yeah.
Whereas before, years ago, they would go, oh, she's marketable. Let's take her on and see what we can do. No, it's not like that anymore. They want to see what you're already doing yourself, I guess. Yeah.
And the amount of emails I get as well, working on reception, so they kind of come to me, and it's like daily. It's just people like, this is my song, this is my EP, look at this. And it's like, you know, I can send it on to someone in music, but they're just going to click delete, or they're going to another one, you know. So it is really hard in terms of like
even seeing that on even seeing that on, you know, the big competition like The Voice and whatnot these days. People are going on there as that extra platform, even when they've built up their following. It's it's become part and parcel, like the stepping stone to getting to the big four. Yeah.
Well, we were only saying that on previous panel week that, you know, that it used to be for people you've never seen before and developing talent, and now you've got half celebrities sort of up there showcasing themselves. It's a tough industry. I mean, we all know that, but we all love it so much. And I think for me, if I can just add to Dario's question there, you know, I've worked for a record label, I've had a record deal, and I'm now an independent artist. And I think if you're wanting to network with self-promoting artists, you've started in a really good spot. I mean, I know I taught Dario to sing many years ago, so I think that's the connection there. But so you need to what I do is I look into different people's music that I really enjoy, and then I look at who they follow, and I look at their related artists, and I try and just reach out and connect with them. And I find through that I meet somebody else or I learn something. And for me, I've had such a wide, diverse career, and I really find that now I'm loving the journey more than actually, oh gosh, okay, I haven't been picked up by a label, or I'm not on commercial radio. I think, enjoying what you do. And the market is saturated at the moment. It's absolutely saturated. And as you girls would know, even getting a gig, I don't know if it's happening for you, but they're asking us to come and work for, your 3-4 hour gig at half the rate that they were paying you previously. And there's so many people out there just doing it for a dinner and a bar tab, and that's on the live scene. And then, of course, you've still got that going on. They're getting free online shows now, and you've got the wonderful Delta Goodrum and Jessica Malboy and all those awesome Australian artists who are doing stuff for free, for goodness sake, because they can afford to. And a lot of people, they say, oh, Jodie, why are you singing all the time on the show? Because the show's not just about me. It's about everyone else that I have on the show. And I've kind of really enjoyed lifting others and learning from them. And through that, it's kind of just, as I said, enjoying the journey as I go. And it's really been a process. And so I kind of get
piggyback on that. I absolutely believe that this time is crucial for us to be doing that, like what you're doing now. I feel like this COVID time is a really great time that's brought everyone to an even playing level and going, okay, what is it about it? It is about the journey, really. It is about the freaking music. It's about the music.
The enjoyment.
Absolutely.
Music.
Absolutely. And when I step back and start doing that, it comes to you. It's really, an energy thing. And I've had some wonderful opportunities in the last, thank you, COVID, in a way, because I've really, I feel like I've advanced more with what I'm wanting to do in all facets of my business and life, and my lifestyle as well, meeting some fabulous people. And I've grown and I've learnt a lot. And, so I think it's just COVID's been kind of a weird for everybody and very sad for a lot. So I just thought if I put this platform together, maybe I can touch some people, maybe I can give out some advice. Lots of people say to me, oh, why don't you write a book, or why don't you, do those ebooks where you give your advice away for free? And I kind of wanted to get to know my audience better, and that's why I've opened this show up. It's like, I really, you can't touch and feel people. They think you're a star, or, and I'm here and I want to give people advice and I want to help them and not just teach them to sing and that's what it's about for us. We always share stuff, don't we, girls? I mean, amongst to each other. And I'm sure if I asked one of you for some advice or some help, you'd be first to jump up. So I think that's my message tonight, especially, and, with Women in Music, just sort of getting out there and help one another. And I wanted to, are you girls up on all the algorithms and what goes on with the iTunes and the Spotify's? I mean, as independent artists, we have to understand all of that and get around it. And I've got some wonderful, I'm prattling on, but I've got so much I want to tell you. I've got some people on the panel coming up, and Kate, she's coming on next week, I believe, if I can remember the roster. So, and she writes grants and helps people write their grants. So she doesn't do grant writing as such, but she will fill out the applications and sort of like a PA to the independent artist. And I cannot highly recommend her enough. And that would be some of my advice, which I think I've said earlier on the show, to build a really good team around you. And I think that's what this platform is doing for some up and comers, and then some also very established ladies in music like yourselves. So, so let's talk about, Angelique, how COVID's affected you very briefly without us dwelling on this shitty situation, but also your gigs and when are you going to release some more music? Are you going to tell us a little bit about where you're going?
Well, so I had my last gig pre-COVID was in March, mid-March. It was a wedding, and then I've had, I'm going to say 5 gigs now in the last few weeks, but they've just been like I did a wedding on the weekend, but it was a live streamed wedding. I've done a couple of bars, a couple of restaurants. I've got a couple of gigs this weekend. I've
A
got some
live
weddings coming up.
stream wedding.
Yeah, it was weird.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, like
This is great though to be back performing, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it felt good. Like it was still a wedding. It was the bride and the groom, the bridal party, and the parents of each couple, but then a laptop. So it was like we were just kind of singing for like the bridal party, and then like they went and got photos, and then like they'd close the laptop. So like, oh, I guess we're done. Like, so yeah, it was a bit weird, but like, you know, it felt nice to like go out and sing again, and it's been nice to get out and sing and work with different musicians again, and just kind of be back to like what I was doing. I mean, it's nowhere near the busyness I was pre-COVID, but at least I've got a few gigs, and I've got some more coming up, weddings and things. Hopefully, if they go ahead and they don't get cancelled, but.
So that leads me to my next question, and this will be back to you, other ladies on the panel too. Like, what are you doing to fill your time? Are you reinventing other parts of your business, your art form? I know, you know, she's doing podcasts, she's doing voiceovers, she's got her fingers in so many pies. Are you telling me now that you're building another project as well with keyboard player? You know. So what else are you doing, Angelique, to sort of diversify? And are you going to have to change it up now because of COVID?
I mean, I'm still doing Nova's 2.5 days a week. And I was working from home, receptioning from home, which is a bit strange. But now we're back to the office. So that takes up, you know, Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday and Thursday. And they have gigs like, Friday or Saturday or 1 or 2 days or whatever. But I'm trying to learn how to. I've got on my laptop, Mac laptop, I've got GarageBand, and it's like obviously it's a free, so I'm trying to learn how to, like, you know, I bought an audio interface and I plugged my mic in and just like recording some covers and just playing around with it and trying to learn those kind of skills. I mean, it's no, you know, recording studio, but it's just on my laptop, and it sounds quite good for just going into my laptop, like just So it's been nice to just play around and like learn a few skills like that. I've done like 4 or 5, like just cover videos, but I would also love to learn how to do like voiceover stuff from home. Like, so that's kind of the next thing I'd like. Yeah, because that's like the next thing like I'd like to, because obviously I always do them at Nova, but you know, I obviously want to like expand that and like, you know, talk to agencies and things. And if they ever had a client that wanted me to sing something or do something, I could just record it at home and send it to them. Yeah. So that's kind of what I would like to learn.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I actually used you as an example. I think one of your first posts to one of my students, because they were like, you know, what do I do? How do I record? And I said, you know what, you need to go check out this young lady. And because it does sound really good. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, just doing it on my laptop, and I didn't even use a proper mic. That's probably the next thing I need to buy. I just literally used a SM57, like plugged into an audio interface. And it actually turned out all right. But like the next step is to buy like a studio microphone. I've just never had to do it because I've always recorded in professional studios and done things like that. But I'm trying to learn like my own skills. So that's the next step, to buy a mic. And then it'll be good for voiceovers.
I just started with a Rode NT1A. So there was like a little kit that was sold for, it's a condenser mic, and it was like under $300, and that's what I started using for voiceovers from home. And I got this thing.
Down.
Do that, Bex. This tool called a Chaotica eyeball. So it's like foam with like a pop filter on it. You can put the condenser mic inside this circle, and then you can just pop that on a stand, or I just hold it.
What did you say the mic was? A Rode
NT1A. But I got that like 4 years ago. NT1A. But there's probably something even better. Like there's probably for similar price points. So.
Okay. Well, I'll have a look at that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I've just got to plug my computer in, but I want to throw to Mel so that you can answer the question as well. And any tips, ladies, like if you could just put that in the link, Beck, that microphone and anything that you're using, because, you know, it's really helpful for people. People watch this later on. Just the comments up the top there on the right-hand side, and it's underneath, it's got banners, brand, things like that. So if you go to the comments, you can just type in there and that'll go live so everyone can have a little look. And then, of course, Melissa's going to put up some links for radio promotion and some ideas on helping other artists diversify and get out there. And you can do that after as well, ladies, if it's too tricky now.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing that now.
Mel, tell us how you're diversifying through COVID. Obviously, you're releasing your song, which you're going to perform for us tonight. Hang around, everybody. But, yeah, tell us what else you're doing.
I'm, as well as the release, I've really just been spending time researching all the different avenues of how to get it out there. Lots of stuff that I'm learning. You mentioned before about Spotify algorithms and all that kind of jazz. That's what I'm investing my days into. So I've bought I've gone into this little social media marketing course, which is helping me.
So
I haven't done anything on it. However, there is a lot of tips and tricks just to how to build an audience. Because you know what they say, no matter what you do, what you sing, or what you present, you do have an audience. And one thing you said to me, Beck, I loved it and it stays with me. Not everybody's going to like what you do on social media. And if they don't, it just means they're not your people. But your people are there. You just got to find the audience, I guess. And that's what this is teaching me. So that's what I'm doing, working out how to find the people who are going to like what I'm doing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think too, it's also educating your audience on how to find you and how to help you and how to support you. Because I get a lot of people that send me messages after my post because I'm such an amateur at it. And they're like, so we clicked on your link, but we couldn't quite find that first album because my first album was released under Jodie, not Jodie-Joy. And Spotify have now tried to join different artist names together, but they're very genre specific. So if you had, an EDM album and then a country album, you would probably put them under different artist names just so that it doesn't affect your algorithms and things like that. But in my case, it was similar style, soul pop. But I've got the two different artist names because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was handled by a record label back then and I didn't have any choice. And, it's only really been in the last 12 months to 2 years that I've been able to get into the back of my own artist accounts and really take control of my own music. So I'm thinking about re-releasing that album because I own the masters, which is unheard of. I'll tell you much more about that deal later on if you want to PM me. But it was a really interesting ride, and now I own that. I can re-release that under Jodie-Joy. But you never know. I might break into country and keep Jodie-Joy for that. So Beck, let's talk more about what you've been doing, and let's talk about how else can we help some people out there. I would like to know more about your podcasts and voiceovers type work.
So I've just been co-hosting a podcast at the moment. It's called No Labels, No Limits, No Excuses, and it's awesome. It's a podcast that I co-host with a woman in the States. She was my client. She came to me for. She wanted her podcast intro written and recorded and produced, and she wanted her outro, the same thing. So I did her intro, an ad, and her outro. And then I coached her for 6 weeks on vocal production and how she could present better behind the mic. Intonation, the voice levels, all that jazz. And then
where do we find this? Where do we find your business?
You can find that at No Labels, No Limits, No Excuses.com. I'm pretty sure it is. No Labels, No Limits, No Excuses.com. And the woman's name is Sarah Box, and she's a coaching consultant for not-for-profits. But we have these, which is awesome, and we have these really interesting conversations with women and men and people in leadership roles, and we always find fun, interesting things to talk about. So that's the podcast that I'm doing. And then the voiceover stuff. So I'm independently managed, like I independently run my own voiceover work. And I guess the way that, like, for example, today, there's a lady in Australia who owns a podcasting collective. So people who want to come into her Facebook group to learn about podcasting, and she's a podcast VA. So she has lots of different people, if they're sound engineers, audio engineers, like just, you know, entrepreneurs who want to do their podcast. And so we connected and I just shared. I just said what I do, and I said, you know, could we do stuff together?
Yeah.
You know, potentially, you know. And she's like, yeah, like, come on, we could do some lives and you could talk about how to use the voice. And so that's, I find that kind of connection and that kind of personal one-on-one networking, which I find is just like chatting, works best for me. Yeah, for building a voiceover.
How long have you been doing that? And have you found that it's kind of really taken off? Because business coaching, personal growth coaching, all that is really huge, and there's a lot of normal people, non-musician, non-creatives that are doing it, and they need you. They need that kind of advice. So has it really blossomed, and how long have you been doing it?
You know, it's blossoming. So I would say because after I had my son, I focused into writing. I thought I just want to do writing, copywriting online. Like when I was at the radio station, I trained in the copywriting. I thought, you know, this is great, I could do it, flexible. So I focused all my energy on that, and then I had still some connections with the radio station. I would get some voiceover work, and I kind of branched out to sort of grant broadcasters and a few other broadcasting companies in Queensland, regional places, and that was okay. And then it just didn't fit with my lifestyle of being a mum, and so it had to be paused. You know, that pause thing. And then so then I've picked it up probably seriously the past year, and it's been really interesting because I've had to become an advocate about how much my voice is valuable and how much I want to charge, and I've had to do a lot of research to see where I fit in the market, that I'm not underselling myself, I'm not undercutting the market either, because if everyone just like does $10 jobs and everything, the whole system falls. So I just have been trying to figure out how I can package little things and then sell them. So it's been a lot of trial and error. So it is still blossoming, and yeah, it's in a good place.
I'm really curious, because what's the benefit? What's the benefits in having the podcast as opposed to doing something like this, like having regular lives going out? Like what's that world all about?
Well, the podcasts are sort of, you can listen on the go, you know, you can be cooking and you can have a podcast in your ears and you get the same sort of intimate connection with the story, you know, it's like radio. And I think with live, there's the barrier, like you might have to be sitting and watching it. So that's just one objective
Do you think
that people would have.
Do you think you reach a different audience? Like, it's because a lot of people are saying to me, oh, if you're doing lives, you want to be out on LinkedIn, you want to be doing YouTube and Facebook all at the same time. The minute we did that, it really exploded for us. And in the podcast world, are you tapping into a different audience, do you think?
I have no idea. Like, honestly, I don't know. I'm just doing whatever feels good, and I'm sort of like navigating and using my intuition. And I don't think I have enough information to like really go, well, this is the better way. I haven't got like, I've only got little bits of information to go, how is it? So I don't know.
So that means you've got to check back in another 12 months and let us know how it's all going and what's happening.
Yeah.
So before we go to Melissa's live performance, if there's anyone out there listening tonight and you're too scared to make a like or a comment, which I know a lot of you say to me afterwards, I was going to say this, but I didn't say that. I get contacted from people overseas via PMs, and it's really interesting. They start asking questions. Then I'm like, why didn't you just put that on the comments? Just ask her, you know. And then I'm having to write back to the panel people saying, would you mind answering this? So please don't be scared. You know, there are no wrong comments apart from derogative things, and I just delete it anyway. So, which we haven't had any of those, which has been lovely. And so let's talk about women over 35 in the industry and being a woman, and some of the challenges that you might have faced. And not saying that any ladies here are over 35, but I certainly am, and I'm going to put it out there. And, yeah. And, you know, especially, I suppose, it's what the challenges you faced. And when it comes to grants and things like that, going, you know, obviously that's what everyone's talking about at the moment, go get a grant, you know, start connecting with different people, doing different collaborations as well. And how's it affecting you, or has it affected you? Has it been a blessing or a curse?
Beck?
I think, I mean, the grant point is that the grants is something that still I'm looking into more of, and I've only ever applied for one, and I thought it was good, just didn't get it. So I don't know.
Well, do you know what I think is wonderful is Big Sound have now, and what a great body they are, Q Music. I just want to do a shout out to them, because, you know, they are just, there's them and the Regional Arts Council, I just think are just doing fucking amazing things in our industry, and I just want to really thank them if you're listening. And yeah, so obviously Q Music's really involved in Big Sound, and obviously with COVID no one can travel, right? So it's awesome for us Queenslanders, because they're going to get a lot more local music, and I think they're going to really have to open up. You know, they will have a lot of online overseas people that are going to be helping the local artists, but, you know, for the live shows and things like that, we're really going to get a good spin at it. They're not even be able to bring people from Sydney and Melbourne. So I mean, boo for everybody else, but yay for Queensland. So Melissa, what about you? Like, with being a mum and having different values now, and working in the music industry, and it's can be quite male dominated, and also with age restrictions, are you finding that you've been challenged throughout your career with that sort of thing, or it's never really?
No, I wouldn't say that, to be honest. For me, I've never you know, in the last 10 years, it's not, I actually haven't used music and the performing arts as my everyday main source of income, right? So the pressure's not there for me on that side, I guess. It's not about me going, I have to make a living. I'm very lucky and fortunate where it does come from a place of just the love of it. I want to do it because I like doing it. And, you know, my husband works in film and TV, so I help out a lot with that on his side and do other things. I don't feel like being a mum at this time is challenging. So there's been a couple of things where I wonder if the age has come into it for me. But I would say musically, I think it's a good thing, because people listen to music and they hear a little bit more depth and a bit more of a story if you've got a bit of life experience. So I'm going to take that and run with it.
Yeah, so it's been a really positive experience for you. Like, there's been you feel like it's kind of worked in your favour.
I would say so. Yeah, I'm not thinking about that. I'm not thinking, oh, I'm really old, I can't. No. I think it's different. I think it's different. Who can, you know, you can do whatever you want now at any age.
Absolutely, I agree.
And what about you, Angelique? Have you faced any challenges being a woman in music, and you know, age on both sides, being a youngster? I'm going to call you a youngster.
I'm still under 30. I just turned 29.
Oh, fantastic! Fantastic. I see.
No, I haven't really. I haven't faced any challenges. Not that I can think
it's
of.
Been a
like,
really positive experience for you.
Yeah.
Great.
I can't think of anything where I've Yeah, no. I mean,
No?
maybe when they're, like a client is like, oh, no, we want a male singer. But
No, yeah.
that's very rare. Normally they want the female singer to be like, the girl that walks around stage and, so yeah. No,
Yeah, and very positive, isn't it? So that's excellent. So just to wrap up before we go to Melissa's live performance, I just want to talk about. I know we've been speaking to you, Beck, quite a bit about where you're going and your sort of aspirations for the future. Given we're coming through COVID, what about you, Angelique and Melissa? We might just throw to Melissa and come back.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing. I've got another song that's just kind of nearly ready, and it will be coming out in September 25th, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm going to keep going along that and just keep the momentum. Like I think I've just been really blessed with how this has gone, like with my first one, and I've got a bit of confidence behind it. And I think that you have to, if you want to keep down that road, when I say road, I mean getting some radio play and stuff like that. I think you have to come back fairly quickly with something else after number one, so that, you've got a bit of a story. So that's what I'm doing, and it'll be September, and I'm just going to keep doing it. Yeah.
That's so good. And I want to also ask you all this question, and I don't know if it'll be so prevalent for you, Beck, but like producers that you could suggest for people to work with, or great people anyone in the industry that you go, you know what, that was a really awesome experience and that'd be great for somebody else to try out. Because again, it's about connection and getting people together, and I could throw out so many names, but I would love you after this, ladies, to put up, one or two pointers of people that you've worked with in the industry. Producers, I just start there. So I'll throw to you, Angelique, and just if you can give me, where you're going and people you've worked with that you would suggest would be a good go point for someone else.
Yeah, well, I've got some gigs coming up, like I said. So I've got a couple this weekend, just at a
Where
restaurant.
Are you? Okay.
It's literally across the road for me. Like I can see it. I live like in the valley, and it's a new restaurant called SK, Steak and Oyster.
Yeah.
It's quite a fancy hotspot kind of place. It's same owners as Hellenica. So I don't know if you know the Carlisle Hotel. But they've got a big grand piano in the restaurant, and I'm not used to doing gigs with like pianists. I'm used to like guitarists or other band or DJs. So it's actually nice to have a big grand piano, and I just sing, and it's just a really nice atmosphere. So I've got that on Friday and Saturday, and then just like weddings and things coming up. I'll obviously try and buy a nice microphone, and work on like still doing GarageBand, or maybe I might buy Logic.
Whatever works.
Work on my voice reels and things like that,
Very
and then
awesome.
send it off, and
Awesome. And Mel, what about you? Have you got some producers and people that you could suggest for people to get in touch with?
Sure. My very first EP I did years ago, I actually did that with Stuart Stewart in Brisbane. He's got
I worked with him.
Yeah, most people
when I was young,
yeah. And I worked with him a very, very long time ago when I had a record deal with a girl group. We did our first single with him. But anyway, he's in Brisbane. He's great. It's Analog Records. He produced Shepherd's Track. You know Geronimo? Yeah. Shepherd's Track. Yeah. So he did that, and he's come onto the scene big and strong in the last few years. Awesome packages, really, really easy and laid out. You know what you're going to get. He's fantastic. And I work with Luke Batterbury in Melbourne, who is a mutual friend of Beck and I's partner. He's amazing. And that's all. They're the only producers I've worked with, Stuart Stewart and Luke Batterbury.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Oh, very cool. And yourself, Beck, is there any recommendations?
I'm working with a guy next week called Pete from Soap Studios in West End. So I will let you know how that goes. He's been recommended from my, the woman I'm writing with, Peter Lee Wilson. So it shall be good. Yeah, well, I've my side of things, I think a lot of us know him as Kesho, and he works at K Rasta. He's very EDM.
I've worked with him.
Great guy, just beautiful.
Got some good equipment.
Excellent equipment. He's really detailed with that, and he actually, I think, was doing some mastering and things like that for Sony for many, many years. And top bloke, you know, you want to work with people that are cool and fun to work with.
Yeah.
And then I would say the very talented Mark Watson. I've worked with him as well. Love working with him. He's just an awesome dude. And his company is called Studio Proof. So I'm going to post those 2 links up at the end of this chat. And ladies, if I could please ask you to do the same. And anything else that I can think of, your microphones and, you know, techie gig, Beck, that would be really cool, because it's just helps people out, you know, gives them a little reference to go by. And if you do have a question later on, audience out there, do flick it on, because I find that we sort of start, you know, with quite a few views tonight, and then it sort of doubles by tomorrow. So people are obviously watching it, you know, into the night, which is lovely. And may I encourage you all to follow all our panelists, and please download their music. You know, Spotify follow is lovely and a listen is lovely, but to download, actually we get paid a lot better. So all about educating your audience. And look, what is it, $1, $2? It's nothing, and it, you know, becomes part of your musical library forever. And you can find Melissa on iTunes, Spotify, and also Angelique as well. My music's out there on all of the platforms, and, you know, don't be afraid to sort of tap in with the girls, ask a question, or flick them a little PM asking where you can find their stuff. So look, I just want to close for the evening and thank you ladies so much for all of your perspective and for being on my panel. I've loved having you. And Melissa, I've got to get you back for your next single. Hopefully you'll agree to doing so. And ladies and audience, if there's anyone out there that needs a lift up, that you need some connection, or you just need some advice or help, I would like to put myself out there, and I'm sure my fellow panelists, don't be scared to reach out. If you'd like to be on the panel, if you have something to say and something to contribute, then we'd love to hear from you. I want to take the show out with the beautiful Melissa, who's going to be performing her single On the Water.
I don't know how this sound is going to be, so
no worries. So I might just take you ladies backstage with me, and don't go anywhere afterwards, just so we can give Melissa the floor. Thank you. Thank you, Beck, wonderful Beck, and of course Angelique. You can see the ladies' links in tonight's information. It's all down on the comments there, and I'm going to throw over now and get myself off here to the wonderful Melissa Lukin. Check out her music. She has a Facebook page. She's on all socials. She's on all music platforms, and she's breaking eggs with big sticks at the moment with her single On the Water.
On the water with you. Ooh, oh, oh, oh. We could try to stay. Maybe that sounds crazy when it's too much for my heart to take. So I spend my days trying to rearrange things, but I think I left my heart beneath the waves. Do you ever wonder where we would be if we tried? Never felt a feeling like when we were on the water, on the water with you, on the water, get it back there. On the water, anything just to be right beside you. On the water, anything just to be back there. On the water, anything just to be right beside you. Oh yeah, on the water, on the water with you. On the water, on the water with you. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Oh. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Woo! Fantastic. Thank you, Melissa, so much. It was nice and clear my end, and I hope it was for everyone else at home. I want to thank you for coming on the show and, you know, sharing your music with us tonight. You know, love the song. Love, love, love. I've shared your links. Please support live music, support our industry, and get behind our local up-and-coming Melissa Lucan. She's breaking eggs with a big stick and doing great things out there, and she's a beautiful girl to boot. So thank you for coming, Melissa. Have a wonderful night. I'll see you backstage. Oh, ladies and gents, boys and girls, hope you had an awesome show. What a great way to end it. So privileged to have Melissa on the show, and of course Angelique and Beck. Scroll through the comments, ask some questions, please share. This show is all about raising the vibration within the music industry, supporting and keeping connection going, and showcasing what our artists and industry workers are doing. So if you're an industry worker, be a male or female, we want to hear from you, to be on the panel, offer your perspective and give advice, and yeah, love to hear from you, so don't be scared. Thank you for listening to Women in Music. We'll see you